What is up, you guys? It's Bethany Hiddle here. Today I have a update type thing for the reason why I haven't really been filming new videos and adding them to the queue to be uploaded. So the first reason why I haven't really been in the mood to film any videos is April 2nd, 2023. My mom passed. And so it's been a month later and I'm still trying to cope with that. But uh, March 28th, mom went in the hospital, and you know, or she went to the hospital through an ambulance, and where she already got put on a ventilator, and which I didn't. I knew about it, but at the same time, I didn't know about it. I didn't know it was as bad as it was. But my brother called me and was like, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know, mom's in the hospital, uh, on a ventilator." I'm like, "What?" And so, yeah. And then March 29th, March 29th, I took a vacation day, and I was scared to go up there, so I didn't go up there that day. And then, my friend was like, "You need to go up there in case it does get bad." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I'm scared to see my mom on a ventilator." She's like, "I get it." And then the 30th, so the 30th, me and her went up there. I think I took vacation days for the rest of the week, I think. But no, me and her went up there, or she took me up there, and I saw my mom. No, as soon as I walked back there, I started crying, and because it was my mom didn't look like my mom, and that was I think that was what got me. So after I was there for a couple hours, then we left. Well, she took me home, and I was like, "Is it weird that I kind of want to go back up there and to the hospital and see my mom?" She was like, "Do it. That's not weird at all." I was like, "Alright, bet, 'cause that's kind of what I want to do." Well, so that was the 30th. Or, yeah. The 31st, I get a call. Mom took a turn for the worst. Fuck. So, I go up there, or I take an Uber after, at this point, Byron called me and was like, yeah, Mom took a turn for the worst. We don't see her making it through the night. And so here I am, like freaking out. Called Jennifer, and she's like, okay, calm down, calm down. Because I'm over here fucking hyperventilating and, oh my god. What was that? Hyperventilated, which was one of like three. Yeah, that was the first of three of that day. And so I called my dad, and he was like, yeah, I can get you up there about 9 o'clock. I'm like, dude. I'm like, well, it's an emergency. I kind of need to go now. So instead, I took an Uber up to the hospital. And so I met up with my brothers, and yeah, met up with my brothers. And like, mom's not doing well. They don't see her making it through the night. So me and my brother well, me, both my brothers, and my stepdad all went into the back, or with Mom. And we sat there and all that, and we sat there with Mom, held Mom's hand, and we uh, we went back there, held Mom's hand, talked to her, and the doctor came back later on, and said that there was nothing else they can do for her, that they can keep taking her to the OR, but there wouldn't be any use in it because at this point they're just searching for infection. And then, so I got upset. Well, first, before I got upset, he was like, so there's really no chance of survival. That was when I got upset, put my hood on, turned my hat around, walked out the room, and my brother and my stepdad's like, Bethany, where are you going? And I'm completely ignoring them. I walked out in the waiting room, and they were like, and so as soon as they saw me, they were like, Bethany. She was like, what'd the doctor say? And I started crying, and I was like, they can't take my mom. I swear to God, they can't take my mom. Just started crying, shit like that. And that was where the second hyperventilation of the day went. So I'm sitting So it was my stepdad's daughter, uh, my cousin, and one of my mom's friends had me sit down like in the waiting room chair and just talk to him, tell him what happened and or what the doctor said. And I couldn't. I mean, I was able to calm down and tell him, but no, and because once they sat me down, I started shaking and still crying and like overheating. And so they were like, okay, we're gonna take some layers off of you because you're getting ready to hyperventilate. So my backpack comes off, my hat comes off, my hoodie comes off, and I'm still shaking. So my stepsister was like, let's go for a walk so you can calm down. And and so I think I'd got to the point where I calmed down a little bit, but it wasn't uh, it wasn't I wasn't like all the way calm. Like I was still shaking and all that. And then so that was where my vaping started. Was my stepsister me and her went for a walk and we went downstairs and she gave me a vape. Like a disposable vape. It was an elf bar. And so here I am hitting that, trying to calm down. And then yeah, I was freaking out, upset and all. And then my mom's cousin and my stepdad both came downstairs and was like, "We got another update." I'm like, okay, what's the update? And like her liver doctor came in and was like, her liver looks fine, and if there was a 21-year-old boy that was in her situation right now, he would survive. And so that gave us a little hope. But and then I yeah, I left with one of mom's friends from the hospital for a bit just to get away from the hospital. And we went to Indiana, because her daughter wanted to come to the hospital too, so I was already with them. We were already going to go to the hospital. And so, hell, like trying to get my mind off of it, you know, I was like, hey, let's shotgun a beer. So me and her chugged a beer. Then we had uh, 4 fireball shots. She actually gave me a shot of it was like pink lemonade, 99 proof or something like that. And and then later on we went back a little bit. That was like right before we left to go to the hospital. And we went to the hospital. And as soon as we got in the parking garage, we took another shot of Fireball and went in the hospital. And it was, before I was scared to tell her it's okay to let go. So I didn't. But that night, while I was drunk and upset, I felt like it was a good time to tell her that it was okay. So this was after visiting hours. And we went back there, or I went back there, and it was just me and Mom. Stood there, held her hand, and I stood there, held her hand, and as I'm like upset, crying and all, I told her that it was okay to let go. I said, it's okay to let go. I hope you don't, because me, Byron, and Sean, we need you. But if you want to, it's okay. I understand. And then, I stayed there for a little bit longer. They practically had to drag me out of the room. And they practically had to drag me out of the room. Because I wasn't wanting to leave. And then, so when we did leave, we went to Mom's friend's house where I ended up staying the night, and got another shot of Fireball. And got another shot of Fireball. And at that point, I was already fucked up. And then I started hyperventilating again. And started crying, all that. And basically, I was like, I've got to call Bubby, which is my little brother. I'm like, I got to call Bubby. Well, apparently, when I called him, from what I was told, I got him upset because I was telling him that it's going to be okay. He can't let go. He's got to breathe. So, I honestly, with that, I don't even know what was going through my mind. But I don't know what was going through my mind. But, and then, he gave the phone to my stepsister, which that was where he was staying. And she was like, I was like, I need to talk to Bubby. He's like, he's getting in the shower. Or he's in the shower. She's like, you can talk to him when he gets out or in the morning. And, I said that a couple times, and she said it a couple times. And then after that, she asked where I was, and like, honestly, I didn't, I was so out of it, I didn't even know where I was. Like, I kind of knew where I was, but I didn't know how I got there. Or, like, I knew how I got there, but I didn't remember the ride there. But, no, it was, I don't even know. And then, that was, so after I got off the phone with my little brother, at that point I was already fucked up. I couldn't really stand up. So they were trying to get me to stand up, and I fell and hit my head on the treadmill, and I got up and I said, ow, and then did it again. But then finally, it was time to go to bed, and I'm like, I can't go to bed. Like, I can't go to bed. I was like, yeah, I can't go to. I was like, I can't go to bed. I'm fucked up. So if I just lay there, the room's gonna start spinning. So they turned the fan on, and I think that was. So they turned the fan on, put me in the bed, and turned the lights off, and walked out and closed the door. And I think that was what happened. Was the room started to spin? So at some point, I'd actually fell out of the bed because the room was spinning. So my phone not on the charger, my vape still in my pocket, and yeah. So after I fell out of the bed, my mom's friend opens the door, and all I seen was a black shadow. And I described it the next morning when I woke up. Because I woke up, my head's fucking hurting. Like, the top of my head's hurting. I'm like, I had to have fell. Like, I've had to have fell and hit my head on something. Because my head hurts like a motherfucker. And I was like, my leg was hurting too. So I got up, I brought my phone out to like see what time it was, and I'd had missed call after missed call after missed call, text messages from my friend was like, "Hey, I tried to call you on my daughter's phone." I was like, "Oh." So basically, like, she went back and forth. She called me on her phone. She called me on her daughter's phone. She called me on her phone. She called me on her daughter's phone. And at this point, I was in no right mind to answer the phone. Like, I didn't even fucking know my phone even went off. And it was in my pocket. Volume up and all. Had volume up and on. And so once I woke up, I went in, got my phone charger, plugged my phone up for a little bit, and I was like, at this point, I needed some fresh air. But when I woke up, I felt like I was going to puke. So I got up, went to the bathroom, and just stood there for a little bit. Because I felt like I was going to puke. And then I went. So I went outside. My phone charged up a little bit. So I went outside. And I did. I went outside, or brought my phone, went outside, and was trying to call my friend back. Tried to call Austin back, or was trying to get a hold of Austin. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck happened, but this is what I remember. So I went back in when everybody got up. I'm standing there. I'm like, what happened? Because I was like, I feel like I hit my head. She was like, yeah, you did. You hit your head on the treadmill. I was like, oh, that explains why my head hurts. And I was like, why does my leg hurt? She was like, oh, I don't know about that. I was like, oh. And I was telling her what I remember. She was like, yeah, you did. She was like, yeah, you came in last night, or her boyfriend was like, yeah, you came in and was like, I'm mad at you. And I was like, he said, why? And he said, because he was taken or something like that. I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I'm like, oh, hell no. And then, no, mom's friend was like, yeah, I was trying to figure out if we got a call from Byron, how we were going to get you in the car to take you up to the hospital. I was like, oh. She was like, yeah, because once we got you to sleep, I don't think we were going to be able to get you up. I was like, oh, yeah, probably not. And so we got ready. We went to the hospital. After we ate, we went to the hospital. And, no, I went back there to the room. This was April 1st. Went to the hospital. Mom's doing amazing. Her oxygen's improving. Her breathing's improving. Uh, her vital sign, or her blood pressure, or whatever it is, or her blood sugar or something was improving, is where it needed to be. As a matter of fact, it was over where it needed to be. So I'm like, that's awesome. I'm like, Mom, you're doing good. I'm like, Mom, you're doing really good. I'm proud of you. And that whole day she was improving. So I was like, all right, well. So later on, I'm like, um. So my brother's friend ended up taking me home from the hospital, and I was like, I don't think I'll be able to come up tomorrow because I've got to work. Well, I didn't sleep that night because Byron told me, like my brother told me, like what times the doctor called and all that. It was like 9 o'clock before he went to bed, and then again at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning. So I was up at both of those times. I'm like, and here I am, like, so April 1st, 9 o'clock, I'm awake. I just got out of the shower. I'm like, I looked at the time, I said, Byron's on the phone with the nurse now. So I stayed by my phone in case he called me. He said that the nurse told him that I was very upset when I went up there. And yeah. And then I'm like, okay, nothing. I'm like, that must mean she's doing good. Woke up. So I went to sleep. Woke up about 8 o'clock from a text from a call from Byron saying this was April 2nd, 8 a.m. Byron calls me and said, Mom had a stroke last night. We don't think she's going to make it. Well, he said Mom took another turn for the worst. We don't think she's going to make it. So I'm going to send Isaac to come pick you up. Which Isaac is his friend. Like, we don't think Mom's going to make it through the night. And sure enough, I got up there. Well, I called. I'm like, what do I do? Like, I called my second mom, Jennifer, and I'm like, what do I do? I said, I've got to work tonight. She was like, what are you going to do? I was like, I don't know. She was like, well, I think you don't need to go to work tonight. I think you need to call in, go up to the hospital, and be with your mom. So I was like, all right, hey. Second mom said, call in, I'm calling in. And, no, it was just. So his friend came. I'm on the phone with people. I'm like, hey, Mom took a turn for the worst. They're talking about pulling the plug today. And so I went up there. They let everybody that was up there for be in the room. And we we just held her hand, and like, me and Sean held her hand, and yeah, me and Sean held her hand. Byron held her foot, and this is where my stepdad was like, "I'm backing out. You kids get up there and hold your mom while she's going." And so us kids held mom's hand. Byron held her foot, and so before I walked in there, my stepdad, well, my stepsister was like, "Before you get upset, let's take a walk." So me and her went for a walk. She said, "What do you know?" I said, "All I know is they're talking about pulling the plug, and she took a turn for the worse." She was like, "Okay." So pretty much what she told me was mom had a stroke during the night, and she's pretty much brain dead. The only part of her brain that was working was the part telling her to breathe. And so me and her went outside, and she was like, "Do you want to scream? Do whatever you need to do." She's like, "Do you want to scream?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know what I want to do." She was like, It's completely okay." And so she's on the phone with her sister, and her sister couldn't make it up there, but because she was in another state. But and then we went back up to the room, and machines started beeping. As soon as I walked in, they'd already took mom off fentanyl. And I think that was the medicine that was supposed to make her comfortable. And we're so we went in there. It's about like 1, 2 o'clock. We went in there, or we went back to the room, and We went back to the room. And is when I went on the other side, held Mom's hand. Sean held Mom's other hand. Byron held her foot. Just everybody gathered around the bed. Well, her heart rate started dropping. You know, it'd get lower, then it'd shoot back up. And it'd get lower, shoot back up. And at that point, they started unhooking her from machines. They started unhooking her from machines. And they started unhooking her from machines slowly. And no, I'm over there holding Mom's hand, talking to her, and I kept looking up at the monitor, and her heart rate and her oxygen is like her heart rate was going up, then down, and it kept doing that. And my stepsister came over after Mom took her last breath. At 3:43. After Mom took her last breath, my stepsister walked over and she was like, or walked over to me and was like, "Look at me." And I didn't look up. I didn't. All I said was no. And she was like, "She's already gone." this is just a shell. Which then made me start crying. And, so, everybody, God damn. Everybody went, or after Mom took her last breath, we watched him, take the vent out of her. And, we watched the vent be taken out. And then we walked out of the room, and, my stepsister called her sister and was like, and told her, that she's gone. I called my friend. I called my friend. And, the first person I called was Tracy. And I called her. She's like, "What's up?" I said, "Mom's gone." And as soon as I said, "Mom's gone," I lost it. She's like, "She's gone." I said, "Yeah." I said she took her last breath at 3:42, I think it was. And then that was when I heard Sean, and I looked up, and I'm still on the phone. I'm like, "Come here, bub." And I just held him, and then I just held him. I just held him, and he started crying. He's like, "Why her, bro?" I said, "I know, bub, I know." Then, I did end up calling into work, and, I got a doctor's note. I got a doctor's note for work. And I called in. And this was right before we left the hospital. I went back to the room. We were supposed to be saying our goodbyes, and I didn't want to leave. I stood there by the bed. I stood there by the bed, held her hand, and just laid my head on her shoulder. I laid my head on her shoulder and just stood there. And then my cousin was like, say your goodbyes and come on. So finally, she had to practically drag me out of the room because I didn't want to leave. And we left. Me and her went out. Well, me and her went to her house. Me and my cousin went to her house, picked up her daughter. Then we went to Texas Roadhouse. And then at that point I was ready to come home and sleep. And then I'm on Facebook, and every post, my newsfeed is full with my whole newsfeed is full of rest in peace, Sherry Hines, you gain your wings, or something like that. And just, I'm reading all these posts, and I'm just like, God damn, dude. I'm like, this shit is so hard to fucking believe. Like, hell, and it's been a month and I'm still, we've already had her service. We've already went through Easter without her. We've already went Derby without her. And this shit, we went through Thunder over Louisville without her. And just, it's still hard to believe she's gone. And then, and so finally I went home, and all I did was sleep. I slept, woke up Monday morning, got up, went back to bed, slept through the day, went to work Monday night. You know, my coworkers knew about you, and one of them was like, "Why are you here?" I'm like, "Good question." And so I took vacation days for like the next 2 weeks afterwards. It was bereavement was that Tuesday, and then like every other fucking day was I was out of work for 2 weeks, pretty much. But and then I did. It was like bereavement and then vacation days. And actually, that Sunday I went to church, and the whole time the preacher's talking about death and all, and I'm just like, oh, too soon. And we walked out, and I told Tracy, I'm like, the service was good and all, just when preacher was talking about death and shit, I'm just like, too soon, too soon. She's like, I get it, and yeah. But yeah, it's been a month later, and it's still hard to believe that mom's gone. I've actually cut down on drinking just because I've lost interest in just about everything. And yeah, I mean I still drink. I've lost interest. But anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I know it was a sad video, but I wanted to give an update. So yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.